What about Chicago?
No, it's too good.
The Wiz? Diana Ross was pretty long in the tooth to play Dorothy.
I know, but it's too easy.
Ooh, Les Mis? Now prisoner 24601, your time is up.
No, everyone on the internet's already done it.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
Yeah. What movie musical are we going to review next? Ugh.
Amazing. It's absolutely amazing, but under the right circumstances, a highly successful stage musical can be adapted into a terrible movie without changing very much at all. It's simply a matter of direction. Now, let's assume for just a moment that you're a Broadway preachy fangirl.
Assume away.
Well, a movie musical could be faithfully recreated, purposefully so, and still be a surefire flop, hated by audiences and the Broadway community at large.
Don't you see, Tripp? Glorious Tripp, darling Tripp. It's so simple. Step one, we take the most Tony Award-winning, box office grossing musical at the time. Step two, we add the humor of an old Catskills writer way past his prime. Step three, we take a Broadway director without a single film credit to her name and have her recreate the entire stage production on film, completely unchanged. Step four, we take established stars and have them scream, mug, and schmack to their heart's delight. And before you could say step five, the film flops and is a forgotten footnote in movie musical history.
No. Oh, I see what you guys are doing here.
You know what, Nathan Lane? You're right. This is the perfect movie musical for us to review.
Attaboy, Tripp. All right, girly, greeny, try these on for size. Perfect. Come here, you two. Look at you two. You could be passing for straight.
Why should that matter?
And you, darling, even though we're sitting down, I assure you, we're giving you a standing ovation.
Ugh, that's disgusting.
You're welcome!
Guys, it's the 2005 version of The Producers. It's the adaptation that's not an adaptation at all. It's perfect.
We can do it. We can do it. We can do it, me and you.
Tripp! Bialystock! I have problems with the stage production. It's kind of sexist, sort of homophobic, intentionally anti-Semitic.
And full of the same old recycled Mel Brooks jokes. It's good to be the king.
I mean, sure, the movie sucks, but the stage production has some flaws, don't you think?
Come on, baby, make audition. When you got it, flaunt it! Flaunt it!
It's good to be the king indeed. Yeah, well, the patriarchy made sure of that. Yeah, you're never gonna get me to roll in the hay with you.
Walk this way.
Stealing focus!
Over here! Greetings, Broadway babies. I'm Gerald.
I'm Tripp.
And I'm Emily. I'm Emily, Inga, Hansen, Benson, Janssen, Tallinn, Holland, Svan, and Svanson.
Ah! Names are funny!
Welcome to Stealing Focus.
The show where we review TV and movie musicals, comparing them to their source material,
Rating them on their own merits.
to determine once and for all whether or not they live up to our lofty expectations as true aficionados of the Great White Way.
We'll be looking at the moments that are a standing O,
Yes!
a slow clap, or a Carrie the musical.
Boom!
Today, we're looking at one of the most successful Broadway musicals of all time, The Producers. Adapted from the 1967 Mel Brooks film of the same name, The Producers featured a score by Brooks, a book co-written by Thomas Meehan, with direction and choreography by Susan Stroman.
The Producers tells the story of Max Bialystock and Leo Bloom, two theatrical producers who realize they can make more money with a flop than with a hit. So they find the worst show they can, Springtime for Hitler, and wouldn't you know it, it's an unexpected smash.
And so was The Producers itself. The show opened in 2001 and won 12 Tony Awards. It set the record for most Tony wins in history and became one of the few musicals to win in every category it was nominated for. To this day, no other Broadway show has won more Tonys than The Producers. Not even Hamilton.
It also kicked off the love it or hate it trend of adapting already popular films into musicals, a trend that started in the early aughts and still continues to this day.
And in 2005, the inevitable movie version was released, featuring many of the original cast members and reuniting the creative team, including director Susan Stroman.
Despite her many theatrical credits, awards, and oodles of Broadway prestige, The Producers is the one and only movie Susan Stroman has ever directed.
Why is that?
Well, Stroman is a Broadway director through and through. In the end, The Producers is just a filmed version of the stage musical. That's an idea perfect for children's recitals and preserving high school productions, but perhaps it also sounds perfect to any Broadway snob who might loathe the idea of cuts and changes being made to the source material.
But transferring stage acting to the screen is not as easy as it seems.
Well, what's the difference between acting for stage and acting for film?
Yeah! Never put your own money in the show!
Get it?
Got it.
Good.
This is The Producers.
Unhappy, unhappy, very unhappy.
If you like the stage version of The Producers, then there is much to like about the film. Many of the scenes are recreated exactly how they were on stage. Same costumes, same set pieces, same cast members, same line readings.
And that's thanks to Susan Stroman. She is one of Broadway's premier director-choreographers for a reason, completely capturing that old-timey classic Broadway dance style. If you saw the original production, you'll be happy to see many of her trademark moves recreated in the film.
Mel Brooks has always been able to write a little song or two for his movies, and with the help of a great creative team, that skill translates surprisingly well to the composition of a Broadway score. Brooks writes catchy songs that are perfect for an audience to sing along to. It ain't Sondheim, but it's fun.
And I personally can't even open a show without singing, "It's opening night! It's opening night!" And if you're a Broadway fangirl or boy, you will have a blast playing Spot the Broadway cameo.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said Stroman had prestige. Everyone who was on or around Broadway in 2005 wanted to be in this flick.
Karen Ziemba, Jay Rodriguez, Richard Kind, Michael McKeon, Andrea Martin, Deborah Monk, Brent Barrett, John Barrowman, John Lovitz, Brooks's co-book writer, the legendary Thomas Meehan. And this is The Producers, so...
Don't be stupid, be a smarty. Come and join the Nazi party.
While we're on the subject of sassy Nazis, Gary Beach runs away with this film. His Hitler as Judy Garland performance totally earned him that Tony Award and a place in our hearts. Honestly, he's one of the few actors whose scenery chewing actually translates.
The movie stars they added to the cast do a good job. Uma Thurman can't really dance and Will Ferrell can't really sing, but they know how to act on screen and they're just so game for it all.
And it is quite refreshing to have a good old-fashioned Fred and Ginger style duet in That Face. Broderick and Thurman aren't the best dancers, but Stroman's choreography is great. Also, there are few edits, so you can see every single move, unlike some other films. Greatest Showman.
Finally, it is nice that the film opens with a big, sweeping, albeit short, overture. That crane shot over old-timey New York, the swelling of the music, it really feels like you're watching something from the golden age of movie musicals.
And we're talking about Mel Brooks here. The show is funny, so the movie must be funny, right? Right?
I have problems with The Producers. Especially in 2018. Yes, it's supposed to be making fun of Nazis, and it It does, it really does. Springtime for Hitler has always been hysterical. Please, let's always make fun of Nazis. They are the effing worst. But unlike the 67 film, this version really makes Franz Liebken kind of, I don't know, cuddly. I mean, he writes Prisoners of Love, their big comeback hit musical. Call me crazy, but I'm not really into enabling Nazis these days.
All right, I'll give you that, but come on, why call it homophobic?
Yes?
Look, I'm torn. On the one hand, Roger Debris and Carmen Gia are hilarious characters. Like everyone else in this movie, they're basically human cartoons. But I also can't quite reconcile that Brooks wrote a song called Keep It Gay in 2001.
You think Mel Brooks hates gay people?
No! I just can't believe he thought it was so hilarious that gay has two meanings. I mean, that's middle school humor. Even in 2001, that was a dated joke.
Get this. Most people think gay means happy, but it also means gay, or they'll never see it coming.
Emily, Carmen Gia and Roger Debris are not funny because they're gay. They're funny because they're idiotic hacks who are terrible at their jobs. This show lovingly satirizes everything about Broadway, and the gay community is a huge part of that. I'd honestly be more offended if he hadn't included any gay characters in this show. And the idea of an unapologetic homo playing Adolf Manelli? Well, I bet it really pisses off those Nazis.
All right, okay. 1 point to you, Tripp. But, okay, I'm about to make a very bold statement here, so bear with me. Mel Brooks is bad at writing women.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say something revolutionary.
That's surprising.
Brooks writes 3 kinds of women: the crone, the virgin, and the whore. And all are on display in the producers. Well, in Ula's case, we get a 2-for-1 with the virginal whore. I mean, the only joke Mel ever wrote for a woman is, "Isn't it funny when ladies get horny?" That's crazy, it never happens. From Ula
Don't be shy, be bold and cute, and show the boys your birthday suit.
to the little old ladies.
We were desperate, we were drinking, then along came Billy.
To the chorus girls.
He wants to be a producer with a great big casting couch. Ew. Yes, in the song I Want to Be a Producer, Leo Bloom fantasizes about using his power to sexually assault women. But they're like totally into it. Max is even worse, with his catcalling of Ula and the creepy sexual manipulation of countless little old ladies.
Bialystok and Bloom are supposed to be terrible people. That's the point. Mel Brooks is making fun of how sleazy Broadway producers can be.
Sure, Max is framed that way, but Leo isn't. He's our sweet romantic lead. He's such a nice guy. And really, the only reason he wants to be a producer is to not only get laid, but to sexually assault. If you say it was another time, I swear to God.
Matthew Broderick is terrible in this movie.
You have got to be kidding me! I saw it on Broadway multiple times with the incomparable Nathan Lane.
Hi, how are you?
And Matthew Broderick, and I laughed my specs off every time!
Yeah, well, I saw it in LA with Jason Alexander and Martin Short, and I can tell you Gerald is exactly right. And the movie only confirms this.
I mean, sometimes he's fine, but in the scenes where he has to be neurotic and having a full-on meltdown, he's so uncommitted. It looks like he's about to break character any second, like Jimmy Fallon in an old SNL sketch. I don't know if this worked on stage, but in the film, it's just so meh. Especially when we have the Gene Wilder performance to compare it to.
I'm hysterical. I'm having hysterics. I'm hysterical. I can't stop when I get like this. I can't stop. I'm hysterical. I'm wet. I'm wet. I'm hysterical and I'm wet. I'm in pain and I'm wet. And I'm still hysterical. No, don't hit it. It doesn't help. It only increases my sense of danger.
There is a lot of screaming in this movie.
Who are you? Why don't you speak? Be with you in a moment, my darling.
I didn't have any
Don't make a sound. Then account for yourself.
This is what passes for comedy, Brooks? Like,
Well, it worked on Broadway.
well, of course it worked on Broadway. They were acting on a big stage, so they had to play to the balcony. But film is a different medium. Your acting needs to translate.
It's weird because both Lane and Broderick have been in lots of films. They know how to act on screen. How did we get this performance out of them?
Well, it all comes down to the director. Susan Stroman wanted to bring the experience of seeing a Broadway show to the masses. So, her approach to the film, be it a conscious choice or just lack of experience, was to stage the whole movie as if it took place in a Broadway theater.
In theory, this could work, as many successful Broadway shows have been filmed and edited together to make a movie. Into the Woods and Passing Strange are great examples of it done right. Unfortunately, with the producers, Stroman is lacking two key elements: a live audience and a proscenium.
A prohusium?
What? You know what? It would be probably easier if I just showed it to you.
Oh.
Come on, guys, let's go. Not you. You. Come on, guys.
I was brilliant!
This is a proscenium arch, Gerald. It's kind of a frame that separates the cast on stage from the audience out there.
It's also known as the fourth wall. Well, imagine that the stage is one big room with an invisible fourth wall right here facing the audience. And the audience can see the actors through that invisible wall, but the characters on stage can't see the audience.
And when the characters do acknowledge the audience, that's called breaking the fourth wall.
So what does this have to do with Susan Stroman's direction?
Well, Gerald, acting for the stage is super different than acting for film. Usually when you're acting on the stage, the audience is in one place, right in front of you.
Yeah, so you have to keep your body open, project, and enunciate.
Why Bloom goes so far downstage, right? Bloom no like Ula, Ula like Bloom.
Oh, Bloom like Ula. Maybe a little too much.
How's that, Gerald?
It looks great. Totally natural.
On stage, yes. Film is a visual medium, though, and if you're boring with your shots and edits, your viewers will get bored too. With the cinematic possibilities being endless, Stroman tends to plop the camera right in front of her actors and have them cheat out. This kind of theatrical acting on screen without the proscenium is off-putting.
And going back to the audience...
I'm hysterical! I'm hysterical! When I get like this, I can't stop! I'm hysterical!
I can see that.
I'm wet! I'm wet! I'm hysterical and I'm wet! I'm in pain! I'm in pain! And I'm wet! And I'm still hysterical!
Yeah, see, in the theater, the actors have to pause for laughter. Otherwise, the audience might miss some important information, or in Tripp's case, some really good jokes. But in a movie, you don't need them. There's no guarantee that the audience will laugh, so the pauses are very, very awkward. You just want to keep it moving, you know?
Actors also do something on the stage called asides, where they say something to themselves or the audience, but the actors on stage can't hear them. Thank you for smiling. That helped a great deal.
Well, you know what they say. Smile and the world smiles with you. This man should be in a straitjacket. Feeling better?
Oh. Wait. I bet that moment is really weird in the movie.
Well, thank you for smiling. That helped a great deal.
Well, you know what they say? Smile and the world smiles with you. This man should be in a straitjacket.
Exactly! Asides can happen in film for sure, but there's no need for the actors to project. So why is Bialystok screaming his aside?
Yeah, we can go on and on about how Susan Stroman just doesn't take advantage of the medium.
The choreography is great, but the way it's shot is just so boring. There's a reason why movie musical directors emulate Busby Berkeley, Bob Fosse, and Kenny Ortega. You can have a cast of thousands, sweeping wide shots, quick edits, elaborate costumes, dancing in impractical locations, but over and over again we get a straight-on static shot.
The little old lady sequence is a perfect example. On stage, the ladies were all dressed in the same outfit, and with a whole funny seduction montage with various biddies. But in the movie, I guess he just called them all together because they live in the same building for some reason. Then they all dance together in Central Park, which I guess is a metaphor for sex. And then he gets paid because he's a whore? What am I missing here?
My guess is a lot of scenes, just like The King of Broadway, were edited out to shorten the running time. Otherwise, why waste your time on Karen Ziemba, Deborah Monk, and Andrea Martin, and then have them fill out the ensemble? On the other hand, I have no desire for this movie to be any longer. These pregnant pauses are killing me!
Max's 11 o'clock number, Betrayed, was so thrilling on stage. But in the film, it's another wasted opportunity. We get Nathan Lane in drag for a hot second, and then he's just running around in a jail cell. He's singing from the perspective of multiple characters. Couldn't he have been in costume as them, or maybe went back and forth through the scenes in the movie himself? Have multiple Maxes all in the cell with him. Something cinematic, please!
It must be so exhausting being him.
So when we take your money, never fear, we'll knock Broadway right on its ear.
The cast is great.
The script is swell, and this we're telling you, sirs, it's just no go, you got no show without the producer.
Are they coming back?
Thanks for watching our review of The Producers. Be sure to check back for our reviews of the best and worst movie and TV musicals.
If you like what you see, feel free to give your thoughts in the comment section below and tell us what musicals you'd like us to review.
Ugh, okay, enough Mel Brooks. Blech, I am done with him. I need something to cleanse the palate. Something highbrow, prestigious. A modern masterpiece of musical theater. I've got it!
Oh, that is so hard.
Sweetie, 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 sweetie.
Hey guys, what I missed?